frankly right now, I'm fearful, man. I'm fearful for my motherfucking life. I'm fearful that this company, this $1 billion monopoly
13 billion
company worldwide is going to come after me. Something might happen to me in 2 years, maybe in a couple years. Maybe something happened. Maybe my truck fall. Maybe I wrecked my truck. Maybe something happened. Maybe Diego overdosed on some suicide shit. I don't know, but I would not put anything past the level of evil that is within this.
So, I mean, I gotta admit, going into that, I actually thought I was gonna make fun of him, but he made such good points in that little clip right there that now I'm like, damn, Diego must know something I don't know, you know? Like, the UFC is so evil that they were going to murder him. And I was gonna make fun of him about this? Wow, my eyes are finally open. How did I not see it before? The UFC is a murderous, evil organization. Thank you, Diego. Now, you're gonna support that with some form of data or a story or something, right? Like, no one would just say a thing like that with absolutely no information behind it that would back that, right? Like, no one would make a ludicrous accusation like, I think they're going to suicide me, and have absolutely no basis for it whatsoever, right? Like, no one, you know, that's how I know he's not crazy. I know he's not crazy now because no one would make a statement like that with no evidence, right? I see. So I was wrong about Diego. He's not crazy. He's totally normal. And Josh Fabia, he's a great influence on Diego. Now, let me speak on that for a second. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So Diego Sanchez thinks the UFC is going to murder him. That's a thing. That happened, okay? Now, if anybody saw that headline or saw that video and then didn't know that I was going to do this video, if you already knew about my channel, then I don't know what movie you've been watching, because obviously I was gonna have to do a video on that lunacy. All right, so let's talk about it. But first, I wanna say a couple things, okay? So I already did this video, okay? Truth be told, I did this video. Here's the deal. So I wanted to do like a reaction video. I've been getting some high marks from people for, when I do reaction videos. And so I didn't watch the interview itself, and I did it, right? So I did the reaction video live, and his interview made me so mad that I made basically an unpostable video. I uploaded it, and by the time it was like all the checks had gone through, I watched it again. I was like, wow, I am too angry. This is off brand, okay? This is legit off brand because I literally lost it. And you wanna know why? I don't like victim culture. I can't stand it. I literally can't stand it. I can't stand it. And especially when someone is making themselves out to be a victim of an organization or person who's in actuality made them into what they are, you know, like that kind of thing. Or like, I don't know, as an example, let's think, how about Emily Ratajkowski, okay? Just thinking out of the, off the top of my head, okay? Now, Emily Ratajkowski is born with genetics that literally do not even make sense. She is the sexiest creature I have ever seen. If you've ever seen her naked, it doesn't even make sense. How can a girl's body look that good naturally? It's insane, okay? She's a multi-millionaire, right? She's a multi-millionaire. She's rich, she's famous, she's insanely hot, right? And somehow she has created the narrative around everywhere that she is this, this victim because she's a woman. Women, she's a victim. Like, she really believes this, okay? And I watch it and I'm like, you would be so much less sexy if you were any other person. Like, just the victim thing, I just can't, dude. I mean, like, she's so sexy, it just doesn't even matter. But like, come on, man. The only reason you are famous and rich is because you're a beautiful woman, okay? Like, unless I missed the part where you got a doctorate in, microbiology from Stanford. Did I miss that part of your resume? Or was your resume, I'm super hot, and so I got in some, a Robin Thicke video, and then I, was Ben Affleck's side chick in Gone Girl. Like, come on, dude. Like, people with no self-awareness, I just can't. Like, I can't. Right? Now, I would say that between Diego Sanchez and Emily Ratajkowski, in terms of total delusion about being the victim in a situation, I think Diego's got her beat, actually. I really do. She obviously has it made in the shade, and it's because she's a hot girl and she thinks that she's a victim because she's a girl. But, and like in her life, she's in a much better spot than Diego right now. But in terms of the delusion around the outlook, like, at least there's some form of history of women being victimized in the world, right? You know, like I mean, I don't want to get into the whole topic of feminism, but at least there's like some kind of basis for their belief system, even if it's misplaced in 2021, right? Diego Sanchez, when I watched this interview, he literally acted as though the entire machine of the UFC exists to hypnotize young, impressionable people and extort their health from them for money, and that all of it is just a big game with Dana going like this. And I just watched it like, are you, like, I mean, I know you're not a smart person, like, I get it, you know, like, and I'm really going to try to do this video funny and not super duper angry, okay? Like, I'm not going to be able to help but be mean, okay? I'm sorry. Like, there's just one little threshold where I can't, like, where you can just take all the empathy that I would have for you and just evaporate it. And you want to know how you do that? Play the victim card, dude. Just go ahead. If you deserve victim status, I promise you I will know, okay? Like, it's not lost on me when people have been the victims of actual this or that, okay? But when people play the victim card where it doesn't fit, I just go, oh, ew, okay, ew. And I don't think I've ever seen a more egregious example than Diego in this interview. And yeah, we're going to watch some of it, okay? But I just want to just lay this out in advance, right? So that you're watching this interview the way that I do. So one of the things that Diego Sanchez says in there is he goes, you know, it's like 1 out of 50 fighters has a college degree, man. Like, we got nothing. We got nothing but the UFC. Like, the UFC becomes our whole life, you know? And like, and they're extorting us because of that. And I'm like, wow, what an absolutely idiotic way to see that, dude. Like, I mean, this is just, it's so stupid, okay? Because like you said, you had nothing without it. Okay, so what would you have been doing without it? Okay, so for the last 17 years, you've been a huge star, right? Everyone knows who you are. Like, you've been making lots of money. Okay, so let's say you fought twice, 3 times a year. You've been making, I don't know, anywhere from 250 to 450K a year. If you're a mid-level 150K a fighter like Diego is, he's never made less than 150K for a fight, if you know, with his win bonus. So like, I mean, you're making as much as a doctor, and you're fighting 3 times a year, and you get to fight, and you're famous. I mean, okay, so what would you have been doing otherwise? You just said you got nothing else. So for the last 17 years, you could have been working at a fucking gas station, or you could have been doing what you're doing. But Dana's the bad guy? Like, Dana's the bad guy? The UFC is this evil organization that extorted you? Give me a fucking break. No self-awareness. It's absurd. They like all the problems he lays out in this oh, you know, I had addiction problems, and like, I'm not anybody who's going to throw rocks at people over addiction problems ever. But those are you problems, okay? Like, those are, if I have that problem, that's a me problem. If you have that problem, that's a you problem. Now, the people around you can support you with it, but to blame that on the UFC is patently absurd, okay? Absurd. And okay. I am jumping ahead of myself. So let's just watch this, and you guys can understand why when I actually set out to kind of like, like Bisping's apologizing to him. Chael is like, look, I like these guys. I'm like, geez, did I go too hard on these guys? If those guys are being nice, I mean, but they like, maybe I went too hard. And then I watched the interview, and I didn't go hard enough. Let's do it.
Because he confronted them. And he brought awareness to the narrative, because he brought awareness to what happened in my previous fight, and because we have a little camera rolling, that's called insurance, motherfuckers. We've been getting insurance this whole last 2 years. We've been filming everything. Why? Nah, because we're trying to get rich and make a documentary. We've been filming everything for insurance to protect our own asses, man. Because you guys think that this shit is just a clean, all moral integrity and honor and loyalty and respect, as real as it gets.
Who thinks that?
But that's not the truth, man.
What's the truth?
I'm outside this company now. And to be honest with you,
for the last 2 days,
tell you guys both frankly right now, I'm fearful, man. I'm fearful for my motherfucking life. I'm fearful that this company, this $1 billion monopoly
13 billion
company worldwide is going to come after me. Something might happen to me in 2 years, maybe in a couple years. Maybe something happened. Maybe my truck maybe I wrecked my truck. Maybe something happened. Maybe Diego overdosed on some suicide shit. I don't know, but I would not put anything past the level of evil that is within this.
So, I mean, I gotta admit, going into that, I actually thought I was gonna make fun of him, but he made such good points in that little clip right there that now I'm like, damn, Diego must know something I don't know, you know? Like, the UFC is so evil that they were going to murder him. And I was gonna make fun of him about this? Wow, my eyes are finally open. How did I not see it before? The UFC is a murderous, evil organization. Thank you, Diego. Now, you're gonna support that with some form of data or a story or something, right? Like, you got, no one would just say a thing like that with absolutely no information behind it that would back that, right? Like, no one would make a ludicrous accusation like, I think they're going to suicide me, and have absolutely no basis for it whatsoever, right? Like, no one, you know, that's how I know he's not crazy. I know he's not crazy now because no one would make a statement like that with no evidence, right? I see. So I was wrong about Diego. He's not crazy. He's totally normal. And Josh Fabia, he's a great influence on Diego. Now, let me speak on that for a second. So if you didn't notice the timeline that Diego said that they've been filming the UFC for insurance, right? Does that coincide with anything you can think of in his life? So I think he said 2 years. So 2 years. What's been in his life for 2 years where he changed from, oh, the UFC, I love this place, they've always taken care of me, to, oh, I should start filming them as insurance because they might murder me? You know, like, what? I don't know, 2 years? Can you guys think of anything? What could it be? Gosh, when did Josh Fabia become a part of his life again? I don't know. I mean, obviously it can't be that, because Fabia is a guru who has only had a positive impact on his career. So, like, there's no way that that's the X factor that made him crazy. It can't be Josh, right? What else could have happened 2 years ago? I don't know. I mean, there's actually nothing else in his life since then, right? Like, he fired his coaches, you know, he left his camp, manager gone. It's just been Josh. It's got to be something else, though. It can't be this Josh guy who made him go crazy. I mean, because, again, no one would make an accusation like that, like, oh, they're going to murder me. And obviously, if he was recording everything they did for insurance, that has to be for a reason. It couldn't just be because some 5'1" fucking lunatic just got in his ear and convinced him that the company that's taken care of him his entire career and has nothing but good things to say about him is actually a murderous cabal, you know, similar to the fucking Illuminati. Like, you know, couldn't be that. Okay. Give me a break, Diego. And Josh Fabia, you are crazy, bro. And again, like, so Chael did this video the other night. Like, so the same night that I put my video out where I just completely, you know, eviscerated these guys. I was so glad to see Cowboy light these guys up, because everybody in the UFC is like, dude, we have so much respect for Diego. You know, like, we have nothing but respect for Diego. He's a great guy. Nothing but respect for Diego. And I'm like, Jesus, if all the UFC guys are like, you know, great guy, and me, you know, asshole, you know, with like on the come up, like just brand new YouTube channel, kind of on the come up, and I'm lighting them up like that, maybe I'm overstepping my bounds. You know, I don't want to nuke my career before it even starts. You know what I mean? And then I saw Cowboy, and Cowboy's interview, he was like, you know, he basically called his, you know, he called him like his little, he called him his little, like, his little gay lover. And then when when they asked him, and they're like, well, if Josh has no martial arts skills, did you hear Diego say that Josh tapped him out in less than a minute? And Cowboy goes, hey, I think you and me have different different definitions of, you know, tapping out, or at least they do, huh? You know, I bet he tapped him right out. Hilarious. So if you don't like Cowboy, there's something wrong with you. But so I should probably show you more of this stupid victim culture crybaby interview. You know, I just like
making the sign of the cross and saying, "Oh God, Lord Jesus Christ, help me get this victory." And then when I get the victory, "Oh, thank you, God. Let me give you the glory. I was victorious in breaking another man's orbital. I crushed."
So, is there anything worse than the biggest stereotype of all time, right? Like, so a person who has literally spent his entire adult life in a sport, right? Working as hard as he can. And then 1 minute after he's out of the sport, he's the public face of that sport sucks, man. It's evil. It's a piece of shit. God doesn't even exist. Like the God I was praying to, I wasn't praying to God. I was praying to myself. Because what did I actually do? I smashed a guy's orbital bone. I mean, geez. Okay, so listen, I have nothing but respect for people who look at the sport that way. I got to be honest. I have a buddy who's a doctor. I watched an event with him, and I just watched his face. He was like, I can't believe this is legal. I can understand how a doctor would look at the thing like that because it's their job to like protect the human body, and they're looking at it, it's like this sport literally exists only to break down your opponent's body. So I can understand how that doesn't make sense to him. Now, I personally respect the skill set. You know, someone said in the comments the other day, I said that I was a fan of violence, and he was like, "Fan of violence, dude, go get your head checked." Who says that? I was like, I'm pretty sure every single MMA fan says that. He's all, "Oh, I think they're fans of the skills, you know. They're fans of the skill set." I was like, and what is the purpose of that skill set, guy? Is it to be able to skillfully inflict damage on your opponent? Now, what would another word for that be? I don't know. I'm trying so hard. What would you call inflicting damage on another human? Like, what's the word? It can't be violence because this idiot in the comments clearly is saying that that's a crazy thing to say. So it can't be violence. What else could it be? Idiot. But, yeah. So anyway, point being is Diego's been out of the sport for 32 seconds and now he's shitting on the entire thing, and he's going to tell you how all the other fighters are totally delusional. You know, it's totally delusional. It's just like, bro, come on, dude. Like, here's the other thing, okay? This is the thing that really pissed me off last night. I'm actually not even going to watch the rest of this interview. I'm just going to tell you the thing he said that really pissed me off, right? So he talked about how Dana dangled the gold belt in front of him, and how, you know, how all these guys, that it's the belts used to trick guys, like maybe someday they'll get it, but you ain't never gonna get it. You ain't never gonna get it. I'm like, so Dana White made you lose your fights? Because if you would have won, you would have gotten it, bud. Like, but you lost, and that's fine. But you think the puppet master used the belt to trick you? The reason that pissed me off so much is because that really made me realize the number of people who spent their entire career getting their heads smashed in MMA for the dream to just one day make it onto a UFC fight card. Just one UFC, and all their dreams will have been fulfilled. Even if they lost, they would be like, but I made it, dude. I made it to the UFC. Much less win a fight in the UFC. Much less fight for years in the UFC. Much less headline shows in the UFC. Much less be a star in the UFC. Much less dude, the audacity of this guy. Like, the fucking audacity of him to act like a victim in that case is insane. It's like the school of self-awareness for Josh Fabia. He should call it the school of, I'll take your self-awareness and flush it down the toilet and then send you out into the world to make a fucking idiot out of yourself, okay? Do you understand how many people have lost, like, motor functions and shit, sacrificing that to live Diego Sanchez's life for one fucking day? And he's gonna, after that career, come out and then shit on the whole game? Fuck you, bud, okay? Fuck you, okay? Like, here's the thing. This is just an objective human thing, okay? Like, if somebody goes, oh, hey, well, at least he played the game. You never got in the octagon. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? This is one of those, like, oh, I actually understand human beings. I understand sacrifice, okay? And if you think that I'm not in a position to talk about taking tremendous risks with a huge dream in mind, then you don't know my history, because I am the number one motherfucker who can tell you about that, or at least equal to any other person, about putting it all on the line for a massive dream and not getting there, losing, right? All on the line with either, I mean, this is just a billionaire, or maybe a, huge multimillionaire, or you're gonna go fucking bankrupt, okay? Like, dedicating your 120 hours a week for years working on projects with one goal. Okay, like, this is not a thing that is lost on me. That's why I love the fight game so much, because every fighter is doing that. That, whether they realize it or not, they're rolling the dice for the ultimate dream, whatever that may be, whether it's being the champion, whether it's making it to the UFC. But that's the mentality of any real serious fighter. That's why I love the sport so much. So this is something that I understand very, very clearly. And for Diego Sanchez to come out after the career that he's had and act like it's all a sham and that Dana tricked him, fuck you, Diego, okay? And fuck your little twerp friend who convinced you that this is the way the world is, okay? Oh yeah, hey, we've been recording for insurance. The organization that's taken care of you your entire adult life, you just turn on them just like that. And you start recording them and then sabotaging them in the media and then pretending like they're going to murder you. Get the fuck out of here, bud. Okay? I don't care. I'm not like Michael Bisping and Chael, these guys who are being nice. Like, they know this guy. Cool. Okay? I don't need to know him to know that this behavior deserves this. This is the exact response you should get from people. Okay? I mean, these guys are they've got public, maybe they're going to run into them. They know they have a lot of common friends. This is one of the benefits of me having, limited contacts in that circle. I can tell you exactly how it actually is. How it actually is Diego is being a victim culture pussy. Okay? And it's disrespectful to every single person who has ever had the dream of being a professional, or to anybody who's ever had a dream to do something big. That he's disrespecting all of them. Anyone who's ever really rolled the dice, okay? You rolled the dice and you made it. And then afterwards, you didn't like how it ended, at the very, very end. And so you spent the last 2 years of your career plotting on shitting on the whole game. Fuck you, bud, okay? Fuck you. And the fact that you're so weak-minded that you let some 5-foot kid convince you that this was like the right way, you're an adult, dude. Okay, like I know people like, it's just that guy Josh, he's convinced, Diego. And yeah, Diego's a very odd guy, clearly. But he's an adult, dude, okay? At some point, people need to own their own shit. And so as an adult, there's no excuse with me for this kind of thing, man. Like, just none. You're disrespecting every single person who's ever had a dream and disrespecting the organization that made your entire career. Okay, that's just victim culture, fucking SJW weasel bullshit. Okay? No one's saying that you can't talk about, you can't say listen, I lived the dream and now I'm wearing the scars. So for those of you who are younger, you need to understand what you're getting into. This is serious. This has permanent effects. I can't remember shit sometimes, My left hand shakes. It's real. If you have a career like mine, you're gonna sacrifice a lot. And at a certain point, you're going to be at the end of your career. It's all going to be behind you. And you're going to have significant challenges after that. So you have to understand, if you want to chase this dream, that's what you're going to give up. Okay? If you make it like I did, this is what you're going to sacrifice. So you should know that. Okay? Now, would I do it all over again? I don't know. But I can tell you at the time, I felt like I was on a magic carpet ride that was being carried by whatever inspiration lives deep inside of me. And there was nothing else that I would have rather been doing. And I'm grateful to the organization and the people that gave me the opportunity to chase my dream. Now I'm in a tough spot. But I can't say whether I would do it again or not. All I can do is educate you so you can make an educated decision. Okay? That's how you handle it like a man. Okay? Not like a weasel victim culture pussy. Okay? And the UFC's not going to murder you. Okay? If anybody murders you, that was going to be a bad joke. But he also said he's not gay, for the record. He said him and Josh are not gay. I believe him. He sounded pretty convincing to me. So I don't see why he would, like, he came out with it like it was ridiculous. I believe him. I believe him about that. But I would like, straight up, I mean, if he was gay, I wouldn't care at all. I would have no opinion on that, okay? But being a victim, culture, crybaby, shit on the game pussy, fuck you. Anyway, that's what I've got. So subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, tell your friends. Peace.